Hello, everyone. We are Chapters and Checkpoints. I am Chad.
And I'm Lindsay.
My wife, Lindsay. Okay, and that was our little intro that we were doing for our audio listeners.
No one heard that. So, hi everyone. We're Chapters and Checkpoints. I'm Lindsay Detweiler.
I'm Chad.
And we're here, sort of. I don't know what's happening.
Nobody heard it.
Because it counted us down. So, anyway, here we are, week 2 of the, what do you want to call it? The reboot of Chapters and Checkpoints.
Yeah.
We're back again, and yeah, we are a little tired. It's been, as you can probably tell by the title,
and I look so wide in the camera. Like I am a wide person, but like on the camera, like I look really. I'm just like
my hair is frizzy. The week has been rough. It's just been a rough week. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you're like, okay, things are crazy. It's not all good. It's not all bad. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But let's just get through the week. We'll get to the weekend, and then we'll be good. And then you look at your calendar, and you're like,
yeah,
never mind.
Like next week, for us, has quickly turned into worse than this week.
Yeah, like we're like, okay, we made it through this week. We powered through. We got through all this crazy stuff going on. And then it's worse next week. We're tired, and it's the weekend.
And it's one of those weeks where literally every day after work, there's somewhere we need to be.
Or like at least one place.
Yeah, at least one place. Sometimes there's like multiple places we need to be after work every day this week.
And then there's also just like, oh, we ran out of garbage bags randomly. Now we gotta find time to figure out that.
No.
Yes, we did.
Not randomly.
It was random.
So today she goes shopping and I'm home with the dog and our trash is full, so I take it out. I go to get another trash bag because I got home with breakfast. I went to Sheets for breakfast. And then there's no trash bags. And she never told me we were out.
I forgot.
So before we went to get them, so I have my Sheets bag that I'm just jamming trash in until she got home and we could go get trash bags. So before we started here, I do want to say before we started here, she's looking at me like this and she goes, "You look weird on the screen." She's like, "Take your hat off." Maybe that's so I did. And she's like, "Oh no, that's worse. Yeah, put your hat back on." So now I have to do the whole show being like, "Oh, I know, I look weird."
You don't look. Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we said we were going to have a different set this week, which we're still working on. But after this week, like, we don't have the energy to do anything. Like, we are just survival mode.
Yeah, today we're doing the show in the crawl space again.
Yeah, so bear with us. We're hoping to have a better set next week. But anyway, so today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about why our week was so crazy, some of the funny stuff that's happened to us and not so funny stuff.
Yeah.
We are, as I teased, we're going to talk about the almost Gordon Ramsay appearance, which we're excited. That's something that happened during our hiatus, and it was a really fun story. Oh my goodness, I realized I have blind questions for Chad that he hasn't seen, but they're in the notebook that's holding up our table.
So the notebook's holding the table up at the moment.
So we're going to have to reveal those out. Pull those out.
Yeah. So when we go to do that, we'll.
And then we're gonna talk. We have a bunch of weird, random things to talk about today. So I guess we'll kick it off.
Allison.
Hi. We'll kick it off with like why the week partially was so crazy. I think we talked about this last week, but our cat had an accident last week during another busy week. He was in a box, like an Amazon box. Fell off the table in the box, rolled into the chair, which rolled into the counter, and he broke his toe.
I think he jumped onto the chair and rode it down.
I don't know what happened, but it was bad.
He pushed a high chair over with his girth because he's a large cat.
It was very bad. The toe was so badly broken, our only option was to have it amputated.
Yeah.
So, and you're thinking, and they're like, okay, getting your cat's toe amputated, it sounds really scary. It's not that bad. He won't notice it. It's just one toe missing. And so in my mind, I guess I was just thinking like, okay, he'll have the surgery. It'll be fine. Like Edmund's been through surgery. That's a nightmare because of his size and his anxiety, and he doesn't do well on meds. But this is a cat. This will be fine.
And he's not being a good kitty.
It is not fine. That is part of why the week has been exhausting. He has a cone on that has to stay on until this coming Friday. We were home exactly 6 seconds.
Well, literally, yeah. She gets home with him, and I'm already here dealing with stuff. She picked him up after work, and then he comes out of the carrier, and he's out of it, and she's like, "Okay, the vet did say it's very important," and literally the wrapping that came to here on him, he threw it off.
He kicked it off, and I said, that wrapping has to stay on for 5 days. So we no sooner got home with the cat than we had to call the vet again and be like, hey, us again. We know we've been there 6 times in the past 2 weeks. The cat pulled his bandage off.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, listen, what you need to do, no cat litter, because we don't want it getting into the hole, because it's finger missing.
Bad.
And I'm like, what do you mean no cat litter? Like, what are we going to, am I going to toilet train him? He's high as hell. And no, we had to go get shredded paper from Petco, like the stuff we use for like rabbits and stuff.
And let me just tell you,
shredded paper.
It's as bad as it sounds. Like, if you're thinking, oh, paper cat litter for a cat, that sounds terrible.
No, it's like strips.
It's terrible.
And he uses it.
It's terrible.
But it has none of the clean, anti-smelling properties of cat litter.
And it sticks to you, or sticks to him, so it's literally everywhere. Like, our bathroom is covered in that and food right now.
Yes.
It is a mess. The cat is, like, still not acting right, still, like, wobbling around.
He's being
Can't
wonky.
really get around. He can't eat. He can't drink. So I am constantly going up there, having to feed him, give him water, give him attention, give him meds. It has been a thing.
He wants that cone off too. So, and then I took his cone off today, like while I was watching him for a little bit, to give him a little bit of relief, and he just sat and scratched around where the cone, like, you see, he scratched his ears for a solid 5
So we had that going on. We had a billion other just places we had to be, things we had to do this week on top of it. So I was like, okay, we're to the weekend. Fine, we can breathe. And then we got some really good news, like I can't talk about with my books on the romance side of things if you've been here with me for the romance side. But that has made my week significantly busier in a good way, but it's been very busy. And then we add to that...
Good busy is still busy.
Yes. And then we add to that, the cat is still in the same situation all of this week, and we have even more things going on this week. We are toast. We're just like done. But on top of that, so it was a crazy week. We barely had time to breathe, let alone think about dinner. So that's where our title comes from for the show.
So sometimes on Sundays, we'll make something. Or usually I make something because she can't cook. But we'll make something that we're going to eat for several days. And this week has literally been days of I come home, I have to shower, eat whatever's there, and then leave. Like, it's immediate. So she made sloppy joe. I don't like sloppy joe. I don't understand.
I love sloppy joe.
I don't understand it at all, and I think it is because it's sloppy. It's just sauce.
That's in the name. It's sloppy joe.
I know. It's just I don't like it, but that's what we have to eat. So we ate it Sunday, right?
Sunday?
Yeah. So Sunday we ate it. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we ate the sloppy joe.
We just
But
had
the
no
problem
energy.
is Sunday and Monday you get it, and we're just like sloppy joe, cheese, all the good stuff, and then we get to Tuesday, we're exhausted. We have nothing else to make. We have to come home, eat, leave, and we don't have. It's one of those things where, like, really one of us should have been like, yeah, you can have the sloppy joe sandwich. I'll eat cereal. But we didn't. So we have these big buns, and then you're literally like, it's like a dribble. You just dribble like the little bit, like we're scraping. We should have. We're scraping the sides to dribble a little bit of meat and sauce that was left on top of it.
It was the saddest sloppy joe ever. So that's where the title comes from, and really, it's kind of a metaphor for the week. It's just like that just sums up the week. It's been a sad week. It's been terrible.
It was enough sloppy joe just to get you through what we had to do to be starving immediately after.
And then be like, I'm too tired to eat. Speaking of that, by Wednesday, still didn't remedy the dinner situation. No one had time or energy to.
No.
So on Wednesday, Edmund and I, because he was busy, Edmund and I went to Meadows and had ice cream for dinner. If you're a local and you're from, like, the Hollidaysburg area, Meadows, like, they're local to us. They have a brownie sundae.
Meadows also has an ice cream.
What?
The Meadows is frozen custard.
Well, yeah.
That's their
whatever.
thing, is it's custard. It's not ice cream.
But anyway,
It is good.
they have a warm brownie sundae. It is to die for. Like, it is amazing. Highly recommend. That was my dinner on Wednesday because I was just.
It was what you ate for dinner.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
You had ice cream the next day for dinner.
I was just like, I'm done with this week. Sometimes you just need ice cream for dinner to get you through whatever works. So that's what happened. So that was just a summary of the week, and I think next week's not going to be much better, unfortunately. It's just really hard going into Monday knowing that, when you're like, okay, that week we barely got through eating sad sloppy joe. let's do it again.
And I do, and I miss the old days. It was like, what do you have scheduled for this week? We're like, nothing.
Yeah,
whatever we
want to
do
forever.
No.
Like, I don't know what's going on. April was just not our month. It's been chaos.
It doesn't look like May is going to be our month either.
No, it's just not. So let's talk about happier times when things weren't so crazy and we were doing fun things. So we told you last week we were on like a 4-year hiatus on Chapters and Checkpoints. A lot has happened since we last left you, and so we're gonna be like sprinkling in some of it over the next few shows just to kind of get you caught up on some of the stuff that happened to us. So I did want to talk about one place that we kind of found over that hiatus that was really awesome, and if you're in Pennsylvania or a neighboring state, it is worth going to, I would say.
Actually, because they got people from all around.
Okay.
So one of our favorite places in the whole world is Hershey, PA. There's so much to do in Hershey. We see a lot of shows at the Giant Center. Trogs is there. Now, Trogs is a brewery, and they make your Troganator, your Mad Elf. A lot of people have heard of the Mad Elf for Christmas. It's like really good but really strong beer. And their brewery is also it's like a fancy, like it's not fancy inside.
They call it a snack bar inside, but it's like, it's a nice, I don't know.
Well, it's like, it's kind of like a pub.
Yeah.
It looks nice. There is like, you go up and there's literally the snack bar, and you I'm gonna try to find a picture of our food, but you just like kind of like, oh, here's what I want to get.
Kind of feels like you're ordering in a fast food restaurant, because you go up, you just order, but the food is like amazing.
I got a brisket sandwich. She got grilled cheese. Everything is made with their beer. I got a brisket sandwich, and then I got oysters. And there's her grilled cheese, but like, look at those oysters in that food. It's kind of blurry, but anyway, like.
This was the second time we'd been
fancy.
there.
So
we
this
went,
is the second time.
Right before Easter, we both took some vacation, and we went there for the day. The first time we went, I actually took Chad for his birthday, because he had had a few bad birthdays in the hiatus. So I decided to take him to Trogs because he had never realized it was in Hershey. So, and actually what's funny is it's literally like 2 miles down the road from where we're always at. Like, we're always in this like central part of Hershey. It's like 2 miles down the road. We didn't know.
Well, because, and we won't say any names, but for like my birthday, I got laid off, so like people know, like I wasn't making.
First birthday was a nightmare.
I wasn't making
that
much money.
money.
So the first birthday, I got laid off right before it, which was nice. So it got canceled. But then there were places, and I won't say names, but people were like, I'm a foodie. I know it's hard to tell, but I like food. And they're like, oh, you need to go to this place. It's fancy, high-end, great food. So we're like, okay. It's really pricey, so we had the money to go. And she was excited. She's like, we're going here. I'm paying for it. Fancy food because you've been eating freaking bread crust and peanut butter and jelly for a year. And we went, and it was terrible.
It was the worst meal of my life. It was so expensive, and it was disgusting. It was so bad. So, and then, like, I just really tried then to, like, do a better job with his birthday. So I did take him to a nice restaurant the next year.
Crazy Boil was good.
That's the one I was talking about.
So, Crazy Boil, real quick. We went, and so she doesn't do seafood, and they do other stuff. She got chicken strips, which was like the kids' thing, but they were big. Like, it was a lot of food. I have
a very childish palate.
Yes, you do.
What you could say.
You have a child's palate.
Yeah, I don't like fancy things.
She's like, I want you to order anything you want. I want you to get the boil. Now, she doesn't eat any of that. I ordered a $100 meal that was meant for 2 or more people.
And you know what? It was your birthday,
so
it's fine.
And I didn't get the spiciest. If you get, like, I like hot stuff, but if you get the spiciest, you're in trouble. I got the next
Allison
one down
said she also likes a local brewery, so that's awesome. Trogs, like, we've been to a few breweries. That one is our favorite one, and let me tell you why. The tour was wonderful. The tour guide we had was great. I don't like beer at all. I think it's disgusting.
Which it works out for me, because when we do brewery tours, they're going to give you a bunch of their beer, because they want you to buy a bunch of it, and she doesn't drink it. So I drink my beer, and then I get her beer.
So, but that was nice, but then it's a really nice atmosphere. So they have like bar seating, but then they also have almost like a restaurant seating. They have like different seating options. There's an outdoor area if you want more casual. So it was really nice. The food's delicious. It's a little expensive, but here's why else I like it. There are outlets right down the road, like literally less than a mile away. There are outlets. So when we go to the brewery, we also end up going shopping, and so it was really, really, really fun.
So here's the food the first time we went. Fancy stuff, but I do have a picture of the brewery.
There it is. That's
There
like
it
where
is.
you can eat.
That's where you eat.
So that's
So
really fun.
the top there is part of the brewery that they use on the tour, and then down there on the bottom that you can see here is all the tables to eat at, and it's really really good.
So that was like one of our fun adventures. See, it wasn't all bad for those 4 years that we were gone. There were some good
Yeah.
moments for sure.
The only problem with Trogs is it's 3 hours away, and the one thing that eludes me is they make some random beers that they only sell there, and the only way you can get it is to go there when they just happen to run it. And the one that I really want, it's called Bourbonnator. It's their Troganator that is then aged in a bourbon barrel. And I am all about bourbon and whiskey. I have a whole bar back here. Like, I love straight bourbons and whiskeys. Every time we go, which has been twice, but they're like, nah, dude. They're like, they
They
didn't.
just kind of laughed. They're like, "You're silly. You're not."
Yeah,
gonna
they're
do that."
like, good luck. They're like, "Look, we work here. We don't even know when we're going to do it.
So maybe someday. So the other thing, this is not really a good transition other than it's about food. The other thing that happened during the hiatus that was kind of crazy and funny and fun was Chad and the almost Gordon Ramsay moment. It was a crazy, crazy thing that happened.
So, I like to cook. And we used to not. I used to have to eat all the time. And then I got really, really big. Like this right now is in shape. This is the best shape I've ever been in.
Mhm.
I used to be zero muscle and I was almost 330 pounds. And I had health problems. So I had to start cooking and I had to learn to cook because this one, it's not great.
Chad.
And it's not, Lindsay. We could have an entire episode of examples of things that you've done that people would be like, you should know better.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
I really had to learn to cook, and I was really enjoying it, and then watched a lot of Gordon Ramsay, and I got quite good at cooking. I think I'm a really good cook,
Of
so
course
to
you
speak.
do.
And I started smoking meat and doing all this other stuff and like fancy stuff. So I really like cooking. I really like watching Gordon Ramsay shows. So I come in one day and she's like, "Oh hey, Gordon Ramsay's having a new show coming out," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I saw that. It'll be interesting." She goes, "Oh yeah," she goes, "Yeah, I put in an application for you to be on the show."
And let me explain. It was a 100-question application. It was the application of all applications.
That she filled out for me
You had to
without
write
me being
essays on there. Like there were essays I had to fill out, but I'm really good at like writing application essays and
And I
stuff.
guarantee they were like, "Damn, he's a good writer."
So I filled it out. It was for Next Level Chef, which
Yes,
you may have
the first
seen.
season.
First season. It was before it was a thing. I swear to you, what was it? 24
No,
hours.
so literally, I'm like, "Why would you?" I'm like, no." And she's like, "Oh yeah, if you go." I'm like, "Okay, nothing's gonna come of this." Blah blah blah. It was a day later. We get an email from them. "Hey, can you send us pictures?" Like, we're finding old pictures, and they're like, "Oh, just in case we use them on the show if you get in." And I'm like,
Then you
You're
had a phone
joking.
call. You had a phone call. They
"Well,
called
yeah."
you
So we did all the pictures. I'm like, "Yeah, here, pictures. Here's my life." Then I got a phone call, and they're like, "Oh yeah, your third round." I'm like, "You were joking." I'm like, "This is."
I
I'm
was
like,
peeing.
"Okay." They're going to hear me. They're going to be like, "Yeah, no."
So wait, we did the email, then you had a phone call, and then like we explained the
So then-
process, and then we did the
Here's the
interview.
thing. Well, they explained on the phone. They're like, "Okay." They're like, "Hey, all the stuff." And they're just kind of like, "Here's what will happen." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Hang up the phone. Then we get an email. The email is what to do for my video interview to be on Next Level Chef
It
with
was
Gordon Ramsay.
insane.
And I'm like, "You are joking." And she's dying. So then I'm in this room. We got everything all set up.
It was so nerve-wracking. I had to set everything up, and when you're doing like an interview, you're worried stuff's not gonna work. So I have like backup
And I
cameras,
told her-
backup lights. Like
and I
I'm
told her-
stressed. I'm sweating.
Because the show, they were looking for home cooks, which there's not a home cook on that show.
No, there's really
They all
not.
cook professionally.
Yeah, for real.
But
I was gonna talk about that, but
she's like, "Oh, you could do it." I'm like, "I am not doing this." So they have the interview, and there I am in all my glory,
But
and the
wait.
dude's from California, and he's talking to me, and we're just talking.
no, before that, don't you remember you couldn't get the video to work? So I looked like trash. I had my hair in a bun. I had taken Edmund outside because he's really bad, as you know, and I knew he was gonna bark. So I was outside with him. Chad like knocks on the window. I come running in because the camera wasn't
Oh.
working. So I come running in trying not to be on camera and get it turned on. And then the guy, didn't he say something to you? He's
because
like,
of the audio, and he's
he's
like, "Oh, there it is."
and then I'm just on the screen with my hair in a frizzy bun, and I'm just like, and I run like out of the room. It was so awkward.
So then I'm trying to kind of find a ways out of this. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way. I'm like, work is not going to let me go for a month of this show. Work was like, oh, dude, yeah, you're good. Yep. They're like, nope, you're good. You're like, you don't need to use vacation or anything. You got this will be great. We support you. And I'm like, so now I'm doing this video and I'm talking to this dude from California and I'm just being me. And we're talking and all this stuff. And this annoys me. And this has happened several times where I get complimented on my accent.
And it's so funny to us because we don't.
I don't have an accent.
I know we do. To people who don't live in Pennsylvania. I'm sure we do.
But they're like, oh man, we love your accent and everything. I'm like, okay, so I do the whole interview and I'm thinking, okay, this guy's gonna be like, okay, we're done. Nope. He goes, thank you. Like the interview's done. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, every interview today has been terrible. Thank you for being the only good one. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, now, at this point,
he's sweating.
At this point, I didn't get on the show, obviously, and here's the reason. Because I don't have a social media presence. That's what it ended up being. Which, you know what I mean? I would have had to go. I'd had to go to Las Vegas or wherever it was.
I think. Let's back up though, because after the interview, we got another email then where they wanted even more stuff. They wanted videos of him cooking, which we didn't have. Like he just cooks for fun. Yeah, I had one of him. I had a TikTok I had made of him at the smoker, and it was the song like "Somebody Call 911." I had like over it as a joke.
Yeah, because of fire. But okay, there were videos.
And then we had
We might have to do it again if we get a bunch of new viewers. But one of the things that we used to do when we had the show is we used to order like the HelloFresh boxes, and I would cook one correctly and show how easy it was, and then we would give her one, and I wouldn't help, and it would turn into a hot mess.
But
so we had those videos.
They wanted some of you chopping, and like they had specific shots they wanted. So I remember like stressing. I had to videotape you like chopping things. I'm like, just make it look natural. It was terrible.
Yeah, and then she's yelling at me because when she gets stressed out, so now she's yelling at me. She's like, "We have to do it again," and I'm like, I'm only going to chop this fucking onion one more time. Because I'm like, I have more chopped onion than I know what to do with that we literally bought so we could, I'm trying to figure out something to do with it because we bought it so she could film me chopping it.
So we had to do that. Then we needed childhood pictures. So I had to go to his mom. His poor mom had like a list of pictures I needed. Like, do you have one of him in the kitchen? We need one with his mom. One of him in his like natural habitat, so we found a woodsy one because they wanted to play up like the country boy angle for him.
It's literally like the stuff that they put out. They're like, okay, you need a picture of yourself as a child wearing the color yellow and somewhere near a deer, and it's like, okay, I will look to see if I have that.
So that took forever. It was quite the process coming up with all of that. So then they put it together, and then we found out like all the people on the show had like social media presences.
Yeah, so then we watch it, and I'm like, okay, let's see how far. And
that's what's been fun. That's what's been really fun.
The first season, I know I could have got pretty far the stuff they were cooking, but they're all like, here they are, and it's like, it's like, what do you do? It's like, I cater for royalty, and I'm like, how are you a home chef?
Yeah. Remember too when he was auditioning, we hadn't seen the show. It was brand new. We had no idea what we were even getting into. It was just like next level chef. It's a three level challenge. We're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
No idea. And then they're like, okay, so are you a cook? I'm like, I weld. I weld metal. It's like, I just like to cook.
But the fun part of it was watching like the people, because first of all, there was one guy on the first season who was like the country boy from the woods. I'm like, Chad, he took your spot. That's who they picked to cast the character instead of you.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Okay, it's the country boy from the woods who screwed up cooking game meat. And I'm like, wow, like you didn't know what to do with that squirrel, huh?
But it was really, really fun because we'd watch
the TikTok culinary cuisine.
When
I should have done.
When he first was talking about like going on, I'm like, Chad, I'm not being mean, but I don't think you're gonna win because there's probably gonna be people who are like more experienced. But my goal for you, what did I tell you my only goal was?
My goal.
I was gonna say this next.
Well, my only goal was to make Gordon Ramsay laugh. If I got on the show, I'm like, I want to have him just roll it because it would have definitely been a spectacle.
Well, and that was the thing. I was
like,
Chad, first of all, it's very exciting that you would get to meet like your idol.
You wanted me to get Gordon Ramsay to tell me to piss off.
Yeah, that was my goal.
That
was one of my goals. But my other goal was that you just weren't first off. Like, I didn't want you to be the first to go home. As long as you made it through the first cut, I said I'd be proud. If you went home first, I'd be ashamed. It was the most exciting thing though, like, because we weren't.
For you.
Well, we weren't supposed to tell anyone, but I told some of my friends at work, and they were like so pumped about it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I hope this happens."
Yeah, because they know me, and they're like, "We need to see him
They're
on
like,
TV.
This is going to be hilarious, hilarious."
Watch him run to get his ingredients.
Yeah, so that was.
Beat him or
he's fine. He's fine. So that was like. We did watch the playback last week and realized you can in fact hear every bark.
Yeah, we're sorry about.
We're still working on like the technical aspects of this. Let me be honest with you guys here. Sorry, podcast people, you're gonna hear the truth. We didn't do. Oh, hey from Texas. Hi, Chris. We did not do a podcast when we first started doing chapters and checkpoints. That really wasn't like on our radar. So we've been trying to make this into a podcast now, like just for people, in case you don't feel like watching us. In case you just want to listen on the road. It took me all week. Like, I just on Thursday got it figured out how to make it an actual podcast, like upload it. I even got software. I have like this program that's supposed to make it like one click and you're done. I don't know what happened. It took me all week.
Yeah. And I mean, and for the audio listeners, it's not like there's much to look at. We're not really
Thanks a lot.
Well, we're not really doing
anything. Thanks a lot. That's really visual. Insulting. That was very insulting.
It's not.
Kind of was. But anyway, so the other thing that happened, do you want to talk about this? Because it's really embarrassing. We also forgot to talk about in our bad week what I did.
What?
With my foot.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have two fun stories. Go ahead. I'll let you have the
floor. So, okay, so you might have to beat the dog. I am not a morning person. I'm not a morning person at all. Some would say I'm kind of grumpy in the mornings.
Well, I was going to say something, but it was me. Go ahead.
So.
That's one way of putting it. That's a very mild, nice way of putting it, that he's a little grumpy in the morning. We don't speak in the morning because I can't stand talking to him.
So I'm getting ready to go to work because I leave first, but then she goes and she walks. Don't say it too loud. The dog. So she's like, "Okay, love you, bye. Gonna go do that." And I'm just trying to get ready, and I hear this bang or thunk, and I'm like, "The hell was that?" What? Here she comes back in, welling up with tears. Somehow.
I don't even know.
She went to take the dog. She got her foot caught in the door.
Like the corner of the screen door got into the back. Whatever. It got into the back of my sneaker and stuck on it.
So now
I don't really know what happened.
The dog, who's already like anxious, is now just a mess. He doesn't know what happens. And then she comes in. She's yelling at me, and I was yelling at her. I'm like, "What happened? How did you not walk out a door?" And then I had to hear about her foot for 2 days.
It was like bleeding everywhere. I sliced it bad. So it was terrible. I was like limping on my walk. So that happened. And then I had another bad moment.
Just embarrassing.
I want to preface by saying I apologize. Mm-hmm. Also, if you work at Five Guys, please remedy this problem because I can't be the only one this has happened to.
So we went to Five Guys to get, because it's kind of our Sunday tradition.
Yeah, we've been on a Five Guys
we were on a Five Guys kick. But we had a gift card. So our order ended up being like $4 more than the gift card, because of course it is. So she used the gift card, and then they're like, "Okay, it's $4 and whatever cents." So then she put her card in, and she left them a nice tip.
So
and we went, and
you didn't explain.
So we went. I will. So she left a tip. We went and we sat down to wait for our food. And then as she's looking, she realizes it did it in 2 transactions. It did the gift card. And then she left them a 10% tip on $4 and like 42 cents. So it was literally, did we write it down? Yeah.
I think it was $4.20.
She left a 42-cent tip.
I was so mortified.
Like
I felt so bad. He looks at me, my face was, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we can never come back here."
That's what you do to someone when you're being ignorant.
I'm like, "We can never come back here." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because I thought it was when it just comes up like recommended tip now, and it's like different percentages." So I just hit that. I'm like, "All right, I'll leave that tip." I thought it was gonna take it off our total bill because our total bill was like $29 something. It didn't. It did it off of just what we owed. So Five Guys, please remedy that because that is bad. And also,
I'm sure they're watching.
Also, I didn't have any cash with me, so I couldn't remedy it. And then I didn't know what to do, so I was like mortified. I'm like, I'll just next week when we're in, I'll give like an extra big tip. But I still felt bad. And then when we were leaving, they were all like, "Bye, thanks for coming." like so nice to us. I'm like, that is making it worse.
Also, Five Guys, I don't care where the potatoes came from. I don't even know if that's accurate information. Because they do. They have a big board there, right? Like, here's where our potatoes are from. It's like, I'm not going to drive to Idaho and thank you, dude. And if I have a problem with the potato or the fries, I'm going to take it up with your local chain, not,
So,
the guy who grew them.
anyway, I am sorry for the bad tip.
She does this all the time.
It was embarrassing. I feel bad. We can never go back
There are restaurants we couldn't go to for years because of how embarrassing she is.
Chad, no, I just...
Olive Garden.
I knew you were going to say that.
Uh-huh.
I knew you were going to tell that story.
We went to Olive Garden, and I've told this a while ago.
This was years ago.
We're at Olive Garden. We're sitting there
I'm a
waiting
better
for our
person
food.
now.
You're not. You're really not. They bring our food over, and they said, hey, set your food there. Oh, here, enjoy. And I do what normal people do, and I go, thank you. Because I want them to leave, so I can, well, no, I have to answer 6 questions about grated cheese, and then they leave. So then he goes over to her, sets her food down.
I got an appetizer that time. That's what makes it worse.
Set her food down. He goes, enjoy. And she looks this man dead in the eyes and went, oh, I will.
No, but you missed the important part of the story. I had gotten an appetizer. For some reason, I got a meatball appetizer. It was just literally meatballs on a plate. It was like 2 meatballs on a plate. And he brought just that out first. And that's when I took the plate of meatballs from him and looked him in the eye.
She looked him in the eye and went, oh, I will. And he turns around and leaves. And you can tell by the look at his face, he's like, what a freaking weirdo. Like,
it was actually really creepy. And then I'm like, I don't even know where that came from or why I would say that.
You did. Meatballs. You like turned into Gollum. Like you're like, oh, I will. It was just straight creepy for no reason. It's not like we were making jokes or anything about it. That was just natural.
I'm the person that, like, when you're going to the movie, they're like, enjoy the show. I'm like, you too.
Yeah,
and then, like, I feel really embarrassed. That happens to me constantly.
You were the kid who used to call the teacher mom when you were in grade school.
No, I didn't. But, yeah, it was super embarrassing and terrible. And I want to do the blind questions next, but that means I have to. So let's talk about this first, and then I'll get the questions.
Okay. So we went to see a comedian live. We went to see John Mulaney, and this was last year.
That was in the fall. No, it was just in the fall.
Oh, just in the fall.
It feels like a year ago.
Yeah, we went to see him at Rice Jordan Center.
I love him.
He was really funny, and he is. So he kind of had to go to rehab. He had kind of a pill problem, pill and cocaine. And now that's kind of what the show is about. Like,
which we thought we were a little worried, to be honest. We're like, maybe he's changed. Maybe it's not.
Which he has a little bit.
But it's
still
hilarious.
He's still just as
amazing.
Funny. Except there's this woman in front of us in a row, and she is just screaming. Enough to where John Mulaney calls it out.
Like screaming things, not just screaming, like shouting phrases at him and weird comments.
Yeah.
And like, me too.
To where he actually called it out, and then security had to get involved.
Because she wouldn't stop. She was having a few too many drinks at the show.
And they were not, like, I'm have fun at a show. Obviously. Yes, especially the comedy show, there are times when it's going to be like, hey, call it out. But this isn't like your show.
And it was like, what, 20 comments she made?
Yeah, to where, and then security's warning all this stuff. And
John warned her on stage. He's like, you need to stop, you're ruining the show for people. And she didn't listen.
And then we leave, and somehow, in this entire parking lot, this obnoxious shrew of a woman, I'm saying woman, she was like 25, 26, somehow was parked by us. And she's now on her phone. I don't think she was actually yelling at John Mulaney because she's on her phone, and I think that's just how loud she talks. Bragging how he said my name 6 times. And I'm like, yeah, to tell you to shut the hell up, like tell the whole story. But anywho, so now that show is on
Netflix. It's not our show, obviously, because this person could not stop screaming things.
Yeah, it was.
But he put the one, I think, was it New York or Boston? I thought he said Boston.
Oh, yeah, it was Boston.
So anyway, that show is on Netflix. We highly recommend it.
It's really
it is
good.
Really funny. He has, like, hilarious jokes. Because we were a little, like I said, we were a little worried. We're like, maybe it's going to be a downer of a show. He's been through a lot. Nope, he's still hilarious. It's still awesome. I laughed so hard the entire show. We loved it so much. It was
We've seen a couple comedians now.
Jim Gaffigan.
We saw Jim Gaffigan. We saw Milani. We saw Daniel Taj.
Daniel Taj came.
Daniel Taj was really fun.
That was like my favorite, but no, it was a good show. Definitely recommend watching. As long as you don't have an annoying lady in your audience. Which I also want to say, I was kind of annoyed at Bryce Jordan because even the comedian said, remove her. She's ruining the show. They didn't. The security guard came down and I saw him be like, all right, you're leaving.
Okay.
She's like, no, I'm not.
And that was it. And the security guard's defense, he's 87 years old.
But
and
like,
he's just, you
well,
can tell by looking at his face, he's
up.
just like.
Someone come get backup. But she was just like, no, I'm not leaving. And they're like, okay, thank you.
Now,
I'm like,
I do know, do that shit at the Giants Center in Hershey once.
Oh, yeah, they don't
They will pitch you out. They
Listen,
don't mess
if you're in a seat, like an aisle seat, if you just like step your toe out into the aisle a little bit, they're like, whoa, get back in. Like, they do not allow
they don't. And then
fooling around.
If you are starting to get drunk, they will cut you off.
We've watched people get thrown out.
And if you get annoying about it, they will throw you out.
Was that Keith Urban that someone got thrown out of me? They were in the pit section, like the really good seats. Someone got pitched out, like before the show.
Something, yeah.
They were like,
they don't mess around. And they have police.
Not mess around. That's part of the reason we actually like Hershey better.
Well, yeah, and then Bryce Jordan's parking. You have to get a parking pass. There's a lot of people going to this concert or show. I forget how many thousands it holds. And you get there, and there's one kiosk.
To put your
get your card in to get a parking pass. So now you're waiting, you're queuing up in line. Nobody knows how to use this thing. Because everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And it's like, you hit the park button, put your card in.
It's just
like
not efficient at all. We hated it, but we did love John. So, Speaking of like shows on TV, this is going to be a new little segment when I have time to remember. So we did this before in the past when we had our old show, where we would like blindly ask each other questions about like fun stuff that's going on or like something pop culture related. So I have prepared questions.
I do want to. This is something we're going to talk about later, but I just want to throw it out now. So when we were trying to figure the podcast out last week, we found all of our old shows,
which I didn't know still existed.
Yeah.
If you're on, so I'm going to share this over my romance page is Lindsay Detweiler. Or Lindsay and Detweiler, sorry. I don't even know my own page. It's Lindsay and Detweiler. Yeah. So it's on my romance page. If you go to videos, you can watch every single chapters and checkpoints we've ever done from the beginning.
The originals are
bad.
Yeah, they're very bad. But
like quality-wise, not like bad.
Because we're such vain people.
This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you.
We sat for 2 hours and watched like
the early ones.
And this is like, these are like 6-year-old videos where we're talking about stuff and we're just like, it's just interesting because it's like, and a lot of it was though stuff we forgot about.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It was like a time capsule. So we were watching the show. We were laughing at how bad the show was, like the quality.
How swollen I looked.
And then and then I will say I started bawling at one point because Henry was in a lot of our old episodes and he was just playing.
Oh, Master Henry, who has passed.
He was playing, and I don't know why, it just got me in the soul.
Because the video you brought up was his birthday party.
Bawling my head off, and Chad's like, okay, new video. Like, it was bad.
Yes.
And then also, my favorite comment was Chad, who's like, because I, was laughing at some of the stuff.
I still got it. Because the jokes that I was making on the show, Lindsay on the show was and then she would start laughing at the same time.
Like,
at the same
both
jokes.
of you are laughing. I'm like, Chad, that's me. Like, do you know that's me? It's not both of you.
Funny. It's because you still think I'm funny.
I guess. I don't know. But Chad, you were laughing at yourself if we're going to be completely truthful. Like, you laugh at what man laughs at his own jokes?
I was tickling my funny bone.
Like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, we watched that. And then, Kristen. And then Edmund was like super wound up, like watching us. Like he was confused for a hot minute because he looks at the TV and he's like, I think that's them. Why are they on there? Like he was very confused for a quick minute. But if you want some entertainment, or if you're new to Chapters and Checkpoints, you could go on my romance page and you can watch the old us and see what was going on. And
there's some stuff on there.
We did have some fun times. Like there were some fun games on there we did, and I don't know, it was just fun. It was really cool to see
Bean Boozled.
And then there was the year before you got laid off, and I was like, oh, you poor sweet naive thing.
Oh,
you think life is good right now?
I was like, oh, there
they
are. There's Fat Chad talking about the future. Little does he know.
It's just really weird because we're like, oh, you're so hopeful, you sweet children who have no idea what's coming.
Oh yeah.
But kind of like I put in the teaser, we're a little older now, but I don't know if for much wiser.
No.
We were
okay.
talking about that.
Do you want to grab?
Yes, hold please. I've got to grab the notebook.
We have to grab the notebook, which is holding the corner of the table up, because this is a classy operation we run here.
I should take a picture
So it's
sometime
going
of
to.
the behind
Okay.
the scenes.
So now we're wobbling again. So we're just gonna not touch it.
Okay, do quote. So Allison is saying for next week, do quotes from a film or song that you have to guess which ones you are quoting. Oh, that's fun. I like doing those. So you come up with quotes.
I think we would have to do film, because you would not know any of the music that I listen to, or
That's
vice
true.
versa.
No, you love Taylor Swift.
I
Anyway, you do. All right, so it's my turn to talk now.
So
because
apparently she's going to be asking me questions
I'm
that I
explaining
haven't
it.
seen.
You don't even know what's happening. You'd be like, I lied to you. You don't know what I could be doing. So, we're going to be doing a segment. It's going to be related to pop culture. And sadly for Chad, and maybe for you if you don't like this.
I don't keep up with pop culture.
No. Stop. Let me talk. So, I watch a lot of reality TV. That's like my favorite guilty pleasure. I watch Married at First Sight, The Bachelor. I love this. And so maybe, like, tell me in the comments if this is you. But recently, just last week, we had the Love is Blind finale. So, if you don't know, I'm going to explain the show. You're going to need to listen to this.
I know.
So, Love is Blind, the idea is love is blind. You can fall in love without seeing someone. It sounds like a really, like, honest show.
I mean,
like, that's
well, I
the
just wanna
sweet
say that
principle. It's trashy.
I'm not out there with you, but I can hear it from my office, and they don't seem like they're in love.
Yeah,
at all.
okay, I know. It doesn't really work. We know that. But the idea is they take a bunch of men, a bunch of women, they put them in these like pods, dating pods, and there's like frosted glass between it where you can't see the other person, but you go on little dates. And then you get to know each other through the pod, and then you propose to someone, and then you get married without seeing them.
I would ruin someone's day on that show.
Okay, well listen, I'm getting there. Don't jump ahead. So that's the show. Last week they had the finale. I won't do any spoilers for you. In case you probably have seen it. But here's one thing that happened that I find funny. Netflix was advertising for weeks. They're like, we're going to do the finale live. And everyone's like, why? We don't care if it's live. We just want to watch what happened. But they were like...
Doesn't your Bachelor show do the last one live?
Yeah, but still. But they were like hell-bent on this. They're like, we're going to do it live. It's going to be great. So everyone, on a Sunday, let's talk about that. Why would you do this on a Sunday at 9? No one wants to stay up late on a Sunday and watch this. They want it Friday or Saturday. So anyway, they were like, we're going to do this at 9. So everyone in America, like millions of people tune in at 9. And then the thing comes up on Netflix, Love is Late will be 15 minutes. The crew is there, the cast is there, people are live streaming, like the people who are on the show, they're like, hey, it's gonna be late. So all of America sits, and I'm on Twitter watching people fuming. We sit there till 10 p.m. because at that point, I'm just invested. No, I'm talking about like all of America.
Yeah.
We're just invested at that point.
So
like time is wasted.
Their servers couldn't handle it, and they crashed. And they told everyone, oh, it'll be 15 minutes, which is really, I mean, that's a really optimistic claim when your servers crash. It's only going to take 15 minutes to fix.
Though. So then just everyone tapped out at 10 and they ended up just having to record it and play it the next day, which apparently, don't know if this is true, but they're like, don't worry. We didn't let the contestants talk for that hour last night before we filmed. I'm like, really? Right. They just sat in silence? That's weird. And then the
Everyone
finale.
Be quiet.
Then the finale, if you haven't seen, there was a lot of heat. People were mad about it because it wasn't great. If you don't know, Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees is the host. One of my favorite things about this show, like the meme I've seen, so when you have hosts of a reality show, like on The Bachelor, the host is there every week with the contestants, walking them through. On Love is Blind, Nick Lachey is getting money for literally doing nothing. He's on the first episode with his wife, and he's like, hey, welcome to Love is Blind.
Oh, yeah. Is he the one that just randomly shows up?
And then he's gone. And then you don't see him for 8 episodes. And then it's just, someone described it as, I love Love is Blind because it's like you're having a fever dream when Nick Lachey pops in. Is he really the host? Did you imagine that? Because they'll just be like on a random date in the pool.
Was 98 Degrees even real?
Like they were in the pool swimming, and he just like pops out of somewhere. He's like,
"Oh, sure, that's when he shows
guys,
up." He shows up for the pool party.
How's it going? And then like he shows up at the finale, and people were saying at the finale, like the hosts are asking questions. it was clear they didn't even watch the show that they're hosting. Like, they didn't even know stuff about, like, the people that were on the show, they're like, no, that's not what happened. And then, like, she was trying to make awkward jokes to cover for it, and they're like, oh, we read that on social media. Like, it's your show. Shouldn't you watch it?
Like it's his show.
But you're hosting it. Like, shouldn't you know? So anyway, that's what we're talking about tonight. So I have prepared some questions kind of related to Love is Blind for Chad. These are potentially the wrong answers.
I haven't seen these. What do you mean? There's no wrong answers.
There's no wrong answers potentially. Okay. So, Chad, if we're assuming you're on the show, I'm not in the picture. I don't know where I am.
Like the host or?
No. You're like a contestant on the show. You're going on Love is Blind.
So I am, so I'm looking for love, and I am so lazy that I literally went on a show that's going to make someone marry me who hasn't been able to see all of this.
Yeah. Okay, so my first question for you is, if you're in the pods on Love is Blind, you get to decide what you ask in the pods, supposedly. Like, you just lead the conversations. What question would you ask early on to see if the girl was for you? You can't ask anything about what they look like. That's, like, the only rule. You cannot ask, like, what do you look like? What color's your hair? You're not allowed to ask physical stuff. What question would you ask early on in the show to see if the girl was for you? Because that's what they do. They'll have, like, 15-minute speed dates where you try to ask questions to see if you can get to know this girl.
So I'm just she's not asking me questions.
She will be, but I'm asking what question would you ask her to see, like, is she for you? Like, to kind of weed, because you start with, like, 20 girls that you're getting to know. How would you weed some of them out?
Okay, so my first question would be, if you eat cereal in the morning for breakfast, do you put the cereal in the bowl first or the milk in the bowl first? Because there's a correct answer for that.
I would put cereal, just so you know, not the milk.
That is the correct answer.
Tell us in the comments what you think.
There are cave people out there that pour the milk in first.
That is the question you would ask to see if that's like how you would meet people.
I'm going to be completely honest. If I was on said show, I don't think I'd be taking it very seriously.
Chad, then you wouldn't get paid. We're assuming you're taking it seriously. That was the point of this question. Is like, what question would you ask to, like, weed some people out and try to figure out, like, what their values are, if they're for you, are they a good person?
Well, immediately, I'd be like, tell me what some of your hobbies are. Because if I hear things like hiking or running, I'm like, okay, and for those reasons, I'm out. But if they're like, oh, I play video games and sit inside, and I'm like, okay, good.
Deborah and Allison are saying cereal first, milk after.
Yeah, you do. That's the correct way. Is you do the cereal.
Let's be honest. Whoever is, like, dating you in the Love is Blind pod situation we have, poor them, because you are a little obsessive about certain things. Like, you have, like,
it's not obsession.
A little bit. You're very particular about things. Yes.
Because there's a correct way of doing it.
You are particular about how the fridge is organized. It drives me
crazy. That would be my question. I'd be like, if I open your refrigerator right now. Or I'd be like this. I'd be like, if I blindfolded you and told you go to your refrigerator and grab this item, would you be able to do it?
No.
Or is it a mess?
I have better things to think about than what the fridge looks like. No. And it drives him crazy.
Because
it's okay. Oh, speaking of the fridge, pause. When we were watching our old videos, the video from 6 years ago, folks, 6 years ago, was joking about how Chad had yet to fix the broken refrigerator handle. 6 years later, it's still broken.
No.
It's still broken. So now we have a timeline
because
for
6 years ago, you said about breaking, I said I did fix it, and you broke it again.
So it's been broken for 6 years. That was really fun realization.
Because every time I fix it, because you open a refrigerator like a gorilla. It's not a hard. It goes clink, and it opens, and there's all of your stuff. I think this is why all the stuff that belongs on the door, it ends up all through the fridge, and it's not where it goes. And I think it might be with the rate that you open that door. Right. Also, something someone can't do is if they open a jar of something, they cannot get the lid back on, and then she is the type of monster that will take said jar and just go and just kind of set it at an angle on top of other stuff.
No.
And then it's literally, well, now there's pickle juice running out the bottom of the fridge.
We've had pickle juice spills a couple of times.
More than once.
Things happen, Chad. I'm asking the question.
Okay.
Second.
What would you say? What was your question? What would you ask? If you're in a pod.
I would ask if they like animals, because if they don't, I'm out. That would be my deal breaker.
Okay.
Also, I would also be looking for, because I obviously don't let
Stop
your
saying
head swell.
obviously.
Don't let your head swell.
Never.
I like a sense of humor.
No.
And so I would want someone who could make me laugh. Like if this person came in just trying to be all suave and boring, I'd be like, I'm bored.
I'm trying to get my hat straight.
Okay. Yeah, because your head's swelling.
It's
You
not
think you're
swelling.
funny now. All right.
That's the only thing I'm going for. Every time I'm kind of amusing.
Sometimes. All right, the second question.
Okay.
So this one's gonna be a hard one, maybe. When they're in
Hard
the pods,
question.
you're in a pod.
How big is this pod?
It's like this room. It's like a room.
It's a giant-
And they're in a pod in the other room, and there's like just a frosty wall. You can't see anything.
So
not
they're
even
in a
their
room.
silhouette. Yeah, basically. There's a couch and stuff.
They stole that from like the Deal or No Deal set.
Okay, so while you're on Love Is Blind, you can also organize dates once you're getting serious. Now they're
Okay.
limited because
Do
you're
I
in
get
your
to
own.
see them? Oh
pods.
no, the dates.
Yeah. So like, let me give you an example. So you can give something to the producers to deliver to the girl's room, and then like she opens it and you have a date. So someone did like Cinco de Mayo. They did a date. They sent over like a family recipe and like some music or something. Someone like made cupcakes for them and sent them over. Someone sent over a like, I don't even know. They just like send over little things to like organize a fun date. Someone was like a yoga instructor, so she sent him a yoga mat and was like instructing him in yoga. So you could come up with a date. What would your date be in this weird situation?
I would send them over half of a Battleship game.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's actually a really good idea.
That would be because then all we have to do, because then we could just yell. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because we can't see each other.
that's a good
You
idea.
can't do Clue because they'll cheat.
I'm actually gonna give you that one. That's a good idea. No, but what if you did that and then they cheated and then you get the whole way to the end and you watch it and you're like, you cheated, because then you see the footage.
Well, then it's a no.
You already married them.
Then I leave them at the altar.
All right, the third question could be slightly controversial because this was the controversy that came out
Okay.
of the finale, because Nick Lachey and his wife, who people did not approve of how they handled the thing, they didn't really bring this up. They were like, good for you, girl. If a woman breaks off an engagement, she's like, no, you're not for me.
Okay.
Should she give the ring back? That is the question that's been haunting America and Love Is Blind for the past 2 weeks.
Okay. So if you're so here's so here's what you're asking. If I bought you a ring as a token of our love,
Chad, I didn't do
I know,
this.
but I'm saying as a token of our love and marriage to each other, and you said no,
Yeah.
should the ring come back to me?
Or if I said yes at first, like you propose, I say yes, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm breaking this off, I don't want to be with you. Should they give the
Well,
ring
then yeah,
back?
you would give the ring back.
Okay, well that created a stir
Why?
because someone didn't do that. A girl broke off an engagement. I want to hear in case you haven't caught up. Broke off the engagement and said, he said, then I want the ring back. Because on Love Is Blind, I believe they buy their own ring, or at
Okay,
least
I'm gonna be honest. This is 100%.
She refused to give it back.
This is 100% brutal honesty. If I was going on the show like Love Is Blind, keep the ring. I didn't pay that much for it. If I'm going on to blindly meet someone, the show is putting me
No,
there.
this was a big ring. But he was like the bigger person, I thought, because she was just like, no, I'm keeping it. And he was like, you know what? Fine. Do what you have to do. I'm done with this anyway. Like,
yeah.
I'm done.
No, I would have.
But people were really on her case. They thought that was horrible. And the hosts are supposed to be objective and like asking the questions everyone wants. The host just like brushed over that. They didn't ask her about that.
I'd be like, why would you do that?
Yeah, like they should have asked her like, why did you keep the ring?
She probably sold it.
Did you feel bad? And I could understand if he did something horrible and then, you know what I mean? But he didn't, that we know of at least.
Plus, then she didn't get to do the scene that they love to do in every movie where they take the ring off and throw it at them.
Okay, well that, yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you can't just, because they always do that where they're like, here comes the breakup scene, and they take the ring off and they throw it and say, I never want to see you again. And it's like, well,
What
I mean,
movies are you watching?
all of your stupid romance. Because
No.
I'm like, well, we're 15 minutes into this movie. I bet they get back together. But, you know what I mean? This
So
way.
Allison is saying the ring was a gift, so technically no. But if you're a decent person,
Yeah.
give it back. I agree, especially if it's like on you. If you're the one that
Well, I
changed
think
your
the
mind.
ring is like a symbol. Like, if I got you a necklace and we were together, and then it just didn't work out, I wouldn't be expecting that stuff back. The gifts that I got for you.
Oh, I would. You know
But
what?
but an engagement ring, the whole reason you're getting the ring is to get married.
Chad, we break up. that Spider-Man pen I bought you for Christmas.
Oh, you taking it?
I'm taking it.
As long as you take the dogs, I don't want them.
No, that's going to be the fight over who gets custody.
You.
No,
I don't
he's
want
been
him.
bad this week. I do, before we get to kind of a few more things we want to talk about, I do want to...
There's only 3 questions?
Yeah, that's all I came up with.
When I used to do these with you, I'd have like 7 or 8.
Okay,
that was
Chad.
fun. You're like, here's 3 questions
We're
you're going to
getting
answer in
back
a second.
into it. I'm sorry.
All right, put that back under the desk.
Hold on, everyone.
We're going to fix the desk again.
I can't. Okay, there we go. All right, that didn't happen. So I did want to give just a couple book updates, just a few things going on. For those of you who joined late, I did say I have really exciting news happening in the romance side of things that I can't tell you about, which is unfortunate, but eventually here. Yeah, so if you're like a fan of the romance side of things, good things are coming soon. Or not too soon, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we're excited about that. And then I did want to say on the thriller side of things, someone last week asked about Four Will Die, which is the next book in my series that I just started releasing this year. Four Will Die is up for pre-order, and if you're on my mailing list, I'm sending out the advanced copy form next week, I think, in my email. So it's going to be coming, so watch for that. So basically, if you want to read and review early and get an early copy for free, there's a Google form you'll fill out, and then I'm going to send those out soon because they are ready. The cover's out. It's up for pre-order. It's the next book in the series. The hard thing about this is I can't talk too much about Four Will Die because Five Will Die, the whole point of Five Will Die is it's set in a publishing office. There's a killer. You don't know who it is. So I can't, and book 4 then, the next book, Four Will Die, follows said killer. So I can't really talk about it or it'll blow book 1. So start with Five Will Die, then move on to Four Will Die. The other thing, if you like audiobooks, Five Will Die and Four Will Die have audio deals. So they'll be coming out in audio.
I never listened to an audiobook.
Really? I used to all the time. Well, maybe you should. There you go. You can buy Five Will Die. Thank you. The other thing we do have a giveaway going on this page. It is pinned at the top of my LA Detweiler Facebook.
Yeah, we do. This is the first I'm hearing about it, but yeah, giveaway.
LA Detweiler has a pin post. It's really simple to enter. You just tell us what you like about spring. I'm giving away a $20 Amazon gift card, and actually that contest I believe ends on Monday. It's been a long week. Again, I'm not even up to date on my own stuff, so that's frightening. But I think it ends Monday. We're going to be picking a winner for that, and then we're going to do another giveaway in May for Five Will Die, where you can win a signed copy. Was that it for books? That's it for books. I'm just really busy right now in a good way, but things have been very, very hectic.
My head is too big. The hat keeps just on its own sliding
I can't
up.
wait. It's going to be a while, but I can't wait till we can talk about what's going on with the romance side of things because I want to tell the story of what happened last night and how you were helping me, but we can't talk about it. We have to save it. Let's just say Chad played a slight tiny role in this next book. In the romance side of things, and it's really funny the role he plays.
Yeah, when it comes out and it's all said and done, we'll let you know.
Actually, I don't even think we have to. I think they'll know what you helped me with. There was one little phrase he helped me with.
Because we won't say what it is, but sometimes she'll be like, "Hey, can you think of names for this?" Or can we add a little bit to this setting, especially with creepy stuff, because I'm all about horror, thriller, and all that stuff. But she does it when, I'm inebriated.
That's when I get the best information. That's always the best ideas come from that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I can't wait to tell you about this whole romance venture, but that's also why I've been very busy. I'm actually, as soon as we're done here, I'm headed back to work on some book stuff.
Yeah.
So, next week, we actually have something kind of cool coming up next Saturday. Do you want to tell them what we're doing next Saturday?
So what we're doing is we're going to Greensburg to go to the Great Dane National. Now we are not taking our idiot, but what it is it's all Great Danes. It's their breed show.
Oh, we have a question. Wait, Alice wants to know what your favorite band is.
Oh, let me think about that for a minute. So we're going to the Great Dane show. So it's like the show that they do with Thanksgiving.
Like the dog.
Where they come out,
they
hold the dog and its tail.
And you have no idea what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But you're like, yay, dog, cute.
And the judges are just pointing with 4 fingers at everything. It's that, but it's just the Great Danes.
And Chad loves Great Danes now, so he couldn't pass up a chance to see a bunch of them together.
Yes.
So we're going to see that. What I'm a little worried about, we're going to go see, like, probably really well-behaved Great Danes. And ours is wild.
Yeah.
Ours is wild. Although, I will say this. Some of our friends from dog school were at a dog show last week, like just a mixed, like, all different dogs for obedience. And they told us there was a black Great Dane there that could have been Edmund because it was trotting into the ring, it was hopping up and down, it was doing all of his things that he does at school. They said that they actually thought it was Edmund, which made me feel better. It's not just Edmund. He's not the only crazy one.
So I have a lot of bands that I've been listening to. I listen to a lot. I think as far as favorite, maybe Rammstein. I listen to a lot of Five Finger Death Punch. Lately I've been listening to a lot of OTEP. But I'm like, I listen to heavy metal, stuff like that, Slipknot.
He listens to things I cannot stand. I don't like any of his music. Like, I'm like, ew, can't stand it.
What?
We have the most opposite music taste you could ever have.
You'd like Sabaton. Well, we're going to see Godsmack.
Not by my choice. Not by my choice. So, we are getting ready to wrap up the show, but we want to end with one final story. Why is it, I feel like we're just making fun of me today. This is not fair.
Because you're the one who does stupid
I'm
things.
going to work on stories about you that are embarrassing.
Best of luck with that.
But anyway, so speaking of the dog show and dog training, that we're going to end with a story about that. Because as you know, Edmund, we've been working with a lot.
Edmund is an anxious, nervous mess. He's been like that for a while. Ever since he was a puppy, and we've been trying to work with it, and he started getting dog reactive. We thought, and we didn't want it to be aggression, so we've been going to a specialist, a behavioral specialist, which we've done it all. We're done with it now, and he really, really helped us. I mean, Edmund's a new dog. We figured out what his kind of triggers were, why he's been a nervous mess. So now he's more confident.
Tiny things that we just
he's more confident.
Yeah.
All this stuff. But when you do this, it's an older gentleman who does it, and he's older, he's strict, which immediately Lindsay is just nervous. Because anything like that, I don't know why you get like that, where you're like, they're going to get mad, and I'm like, then we'll leave. It's not, we'll just never see them again. But she's really nervous, so she has the dog, and the dog knows a bunch of tricks. I'll put it this way. If he's not barking at you, if you bow in front of our dog, he will bow back.
He spins, he twists.
He does all this stuff. So when he's like,
hand commands, hand signals.
When we're there and we're meeting the man for the first time, he goes, show me what the dog can do. Lindsay immediately went to hurry. Now, hurry is the trick where the dog's running on a leash with you. So literally, the guy's like, what can the dog do? And Lindsay just started running.
It was so bad. And then I just
embarrassing.
Then I just stopped. And then he saw a trash can and he was confused.
And then he's over the trash can, but she stops turning around and I'm just like this. And I'm like, of everything. I'm like, the dog will bow to you. And you just went and then awkwardly ran through wet grass with said dog.
And then I stopped and I was just like, that's all I did. I didn't say anything else. I didn't try to recover. I didn't be like, do you want to see more? I was just like, that's what he does. It was so embarrassing. And then, I could not stop thinking about it. I still think about it sometimes, about that awkward moment.
You are awkward.
Yeah, sometimes. I have my moments. But yeah, so then we were laughing after that. And I feel like I have more awkward moments at training where I was just confused. Or, it's just very strict. You're trying to be, Edmund on his best behavior. You're trying to, do a good job. Then, the guy turns around and Edmund grabs, the biggest stick he can find. And he's just playing with it. And I'm, trying to be like, no. And, trying to steal it.
We're going to the first thing. And she's like, oh, I hope Edmund behaves. I'm like, why? He's a specialist. This is when you want the dog to not behave. So the guy can go, oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Also, if you know me from the old chapters and checkpoints, I always have to pee. It is just a thing. We've talked about it on the show. I always have to pee at inconvenient times. There was a story we were watching on one of the old ones about my too tight Spanx and how I was it was a mess. Not literally.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, don't phrase it like that. You're like, it was a mess.
No, but so we get there. I'm really nervous, and if I get nervous, I have to pee. So as soon as we get there, I'm like, I really have to pee, but there's nowhere to go because we're in like apart. So there's a porta potty. So I had to go pee in the porta potty. And I remember like hurrying because I'm like, Chad, I don't want the dog trainer to see me coming out of the porta potty. And you were like, why? I'm like, I don't know. That's just not the first impression I want.
Because like, what are you trying to maintain dominance?
I don't know. And then like I felt like for the first couple weeks I was still nervous. So every time we'd get there, because it was like an hour away, I'd be like, I have to pee again because I'm nervous. And he'd be like, really? So then we'd do this whole thing where I'd run to the porta potty and then like run back and try to act natural like I wasn't just in there.
And then, because she hates, when we travel, she hates my role.
And it doesn't happen because I just throw a fit.
No, it does. It absolutely does. If we're going somewhere that is 3 hours away or less, we don't stop.
Yeah, if I have to, we do.
No.
Yeah.
Because we don't. I'm like, we're going straight there.
Yeah,
it
gives me panic. It makes me panic. Anyway, that's how we're gonna end the show. And done.
Yeah, we're
talking about pee. So anyway, we will be hopefully back next week. Like, hopefully we survive this week.
Maybe I'll make you a quiz.
Okay, make me a quiz. I found this by watching our old shows too. I'm very bad at thinking on my feet.
You are, and that's why like a lot of the shows. And you'll see this especially with our old shows. I do a lot of talking.
Just because you like talking.
Well, I do, and it's natural to me to talk. But there's also a reason. It's not that because when we started the show, she was always like, "Listen, if I freeze up or can't, you keep talking." I'm like, "Okay." So then if we do an hour-long show, I talk for 40 minutes.
Just because you like to talk, don't blame me. But we will be back after our stressful week. We'll be back with stories from the Great Dane show. Hopefully we'll do a better job at dinner this week.
Because we're going in the morning. So the show should be live at the normal time of 7 next week.
And now that we have the podcast figured out, hopefully you should be able to listen to our podcast this week. It did take me a good week where I was very upset and like, this is not working. I emailed the company. I'm like, this is not one click. And they're like, oh, you uploaded it wrong. So
yeah, it's shocking. Something we did.
It's maybe fixed. Edmund's throwing a fit, so it's probably time for us to go.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope to see you next week, and we hope you have a good week.
Have a good one.
Bye.